What if the biggest sign of the climate crisis isn't just melting ice caps? What if it's silent orchards, empty beehives, and realizing that 1 out of every 3 bites of food you eat is quietly disappearing? This isn't a science fiction movie. This is the reality facing bees right now. They're the tiny engines that power our food system, pollinating a huge share of our crops and wild plants. But over the last few decades, bee populations have seen record declines, and climate change is a major culprit. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how our changing climate is hurting these essential creatures, what that means for your grocery bill, and most importantly, what you can actually do to help. So, why are bees so important? Let's break it down. It's a simple equation. Bees equal pollination, and pollination equals fruits, nuts, and vegetables. Think about your favorite foods: apples, almonds, blueberries, avocados, even coffee and chocolate. They all depend on pollinators. In fact, somewhere around 75 to 80% of all flowering plants on Earth, including a massive chunk of our food crops, rely on animals to help them reproduce, and bees are the undisputed champions of this process. It's not just about a healthy ecosystem. It's a huge economic driver. Globally, the service these tiny workers provide is valued at hundreds of billions of dollars every single year. Without them, our plates and our economies would look drastically different. They are, quite literally, the foundation of our food security. Now, let's translate what climate change really means in bee language. For us, it's abstract concepts like rising average temperatures. For a bee, it's a life or death situation. We're talking about more frequent and intense heat waves and droughts that scorch their food sources. We're talking about sudden floods that can wash away entire colonies, or late-season frosts that kill off the first spring blossoms just as the bees are waking up hungry. The seasons are becoming weird and unpredictable. You have to remember, bees are tiny, cold-blooded insects. Their body temperature, their ability to fly, and their very survival are all tightly linked to the weather. A few degrees might not feel like much to us, but for a bee, it can change everything. Their world is being turned upside down, and they are struggling to keep up. Let's look at what this heat stress actually does to them. When temperatures get too high, bees can't fly. They're forced to stay inside the hive to cool it down, fanning their wings desperately to protect the developing young. This means less time foraging for food. Studies have shown that extreme heat directly reduces their survival rates and makes them less effective pollinators. One shocking study found that bee abundance could drop by as much as 40% for every single degree Celsius the temperature rises in certain areas. Then you have the other extreme weather events. Violent storms can physically destroy hives. Floods can drown colonies and wipe out ground-nesting bee species. A late frost can be a catastrophe, killing off the flowers that a newly emerged colony depends on to survive. Beekeepers are seeing this firsthand. In places like Kenya, recent research showed that severe heat and drought led to colony losses of around 36%. The beekeepers who provided extra water for their hives saw better survival rates. But it's a sign of just how vulnerable these insects are to a hotter, drier world. On top of the heat, there's another, more subtle problem happening: a critical timing mismatch. For thousands of years, bees and flowers have evolved together in a beautiful, synchronized dance. The flowers bloom just as the bees emerge, hungry for nectar. But climate change is rewriting the choreography. Warmer springs are causing many plants to bloom earlier than they used to, sometimes by weeks. The problem is, the bees are often still on their old schedule, emerging at the normal time based on cues like day length. The result is a disaster. The bees fly out to find that the feast is already over. The best flowers have already faded, leaving them with scarce resources. Or, in some cases, the bees emerge before the flowers are ready. This phenological mismatch, as scientists call it, is a huge threat. We're already seeing this in action. Studies on bumblebees in alpine meadows have shown that this timing gap between when they emerge and when their favorite flowers bloom leads to fewer new queens being produced, which directly impacts the survival of the population into the next year. It's like showing up to a party after all the food is gone, and for bees, that can be a death sentence. And as their environment changes, bees are being forced to move. Just like people might move to a place with a better climate. Many bee species are trying to shift their territories northward or to higher altitudes to escape the heat. But there's a big problem. Not all bees can move. Some species are specialized to a particular habitat or a specific type of flower, and they can't just pack up and relocate. Even for the species that can move, they might not be able to move fast enough to keep pace with how quickly the climate is changing. And as they move, they might run out of suitable places to live or find that the plants they depend on haven't moved with them. The result is that many regions are seeing their bee habitats shrink. This is incredibly dangerous because it reduces the diversity of bees in an area. When you lose diversity, the entire pollination system becomes less resilient and more vulnerable to collapse. It's like a city losing its doctors, electricians, and farmers all at once. The whole system starts to break down. Now, it's crucial to understand that climate change isn't acting alone. It's more like a stress multiplier, creating a perfect storm of threats for bees. Bees were already under immense pressure from other factors. We have widespread pesticide use, which can poison them directly or mess with their navigation and immune systems. We have habitat loss, where wildflower meadows are replaced with concrete or giant monoculture farms that offer food for only a few weeks a year, followed by a food desert. And we have parasites and diseases, like the notorious varroa mite, which has devastated honeybee colonies worldwide. Climate change takes all of these existing problems and makes them worse. For example, heat stress or nutritional stress from that flower timing mismatch weakens a bee's immune system. This makes it far more susceptible to dying from a virus or a dose of pesticide that it might have otherwise survived. This stacking of stressors is why pollinator experts now consistently rank climate change as one of the top global threats to bees, right alongside habitat loss and pesticide use. It's the final push that can send an already struggling population over the edge. So, what does a world with fewer bees actually mean for us? Let's connect the dots. Fewer bees mean poorer pollination. Poorer pollination means lower crop yields. It means the apples and almonds and strawberries we love become less abundant and more expensive. For farmers, it means unstable harvests and economic hardship. For us at the grocery store, it could mean skyrocketing prices for fresh produce and less variety in our diets. We could be facing a future where nutritious foods like fruits, nuts, and vegetables become luxury items. This isn't just a future prediction. In some parts of the world, scientists are already recording declines in seed and fruit production that are directly linked to a lack of pollinators. The system is already showing signs of strain. The buzz of bees in a field isn't just a pleasant summer sound. It's the sound of our food system functioning properly. And that sound is getting quieter. But please, don't despair. This isn't a story without hope. There are amazing people fighting to turn this around. Scientists and policymakers are taking this threat seriously. Global assessments, like the ones from the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, or IPS, are sounding the alarm and pushing governments to recognize the link between climate, pollinators, and our food security. This is leading to real policy discussions. At the same time, researchers are working on practical solutions. They're studying which plants are most resilient to drought, how to create bee highways that connect fragmented habitats, and developing new beekeeping strategies to help colonies survive heat waves, like ensuring they have access to water. The science is moving fast, and every new discovery gives us another tool to help our pollinators. The fight is far from over, and knowledge is our most powerful weapon. And this brings us to the most important part, you. You are not powerless in this fight. There are simple, meaningful things you can do right now to make a difference. First, plant for pollinators. Turn your garden, your balcony, or even a window box into a bee buffet. Grow a variety of native, pesticide-free flowers that bloom across different seasons, from early spring to late fall. This provides a consistent food source. Second, support local. Buy honey from local beekeepers and produce from local farmers who use bee-friendly practices. Your purchasing power sends a powerful message. Third, think about your own climate footprint. Simple changes in how we use energy, how we travel, and the food choices we make can collectively have a huge impact. And finally, use your voice. Advocate for policies that protect natural habitats, limit the use of harmful pesticides, and take real action on climate change. Every small action, when multiplied by millions of people, creates a tidal wave of change. Saving the bees isn't just about saving a cute insect or ensuring we have honey for our tea. It's about protecting the intricate web of life that sustains us. It's about our food, our ecosystems, and the kind of future we want to leave behind. Climate change is rewriting the seasons, and bees are on the front lines, paying the price for our warming world. The question is, will we just stand by and watch the hives go quiet? Or will we step up and help rewrite the story? The choice is ours to make. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more content. Let me know in the comments how you seeing climate change affect the bees and flowers in your own area. Together, we can make a difference.